Hi, I'm Charman and welcome to my final episode in my Bridal Bites series on Brideas. In this episode, I'm going to show you a great alternative to a wedding cake in the form of a meringue stack. So the idea of this cake is that you have three meringues, one about 10 inches in diameter, one about 8 inches and one about 6 inches. And the idea is that you stack them up like a stacked wedding cake made of traditional sponge, but this could be your pudding as well. So you're saving a little bit of money there, you're two birds and one stone. So what you're going to do, I'm going to show you one of the meringues, but you're going to make three of them. So you need 3 bowls, plates. At home I would use a dinner plate, a side plate and a little tea plate. Just as long as there's a decent 2-inch difference between the size, you're fine. And then you want 3 baking trays with a bit of baking parchment on, and then you want to draw around each of the bowls or plates that you're using as your guide. And then the important thing to remember is to turn this over so you don't get any pen mark on your meringue. So you leave that there and you get all 3 of those ready. I'm just going to show you the one for now. And then for the meringues, we're going to make up 12 egg whites worth of meringue. Because most of these domestic appliances at home will only do about 6 egg whites, just do half and half of the sugar and the egg whites. So 6 egg whites and about 350 grams of sugar. So I'm going to start whisking those up. Now the best thing to do is to get them to about stiff peaks. And to do that, you want to make sure your bowl is really clean. So I'm going to turn this on and be quiet for a minute. So I think that's about there. I'm just going to check. What you want is stiff peaks. And when you turn it upside down, it stays in the bowl. So that's ready to have the sugar added to it. And what you want to do is keep as much air as possible in these egg whites. So you don't want to dump the whole lot of sugar on top because it will fall to the bottom. It's really heavy and it will take the air out. So you just want to start sprinkling it in while it's whisking and it will go nice and shiny and glossy. So I'm going to start it up again. Give it one last blast and you're done. Now, another little trick to keep this paper in place, either use this actually, save on meringue, just dot it on the baking tray and that will act as a glue and hold your paper down, especially if you're using a fan oven. The corners won't flap up so much and then they won't ruin the nice circle that you'll create. And then you put the meringue on. Now, with this recipe, half of it, so with the 6 egg whites, we'll do the base meringue, the biggest one, and then the next 6 we'll do the middle one, which is this one, and the smaller one. So I'll put about 2/3 of this meringue on. Now the best way to do it is prop it all as a lump in the middle, and then just use the back of the spoon to push it out. And then if you do that with all 3 meringues, now you put them into the oven at 140 degrees, and you leave them for an hour and a quarter. Once that's done, turn the oven off and forget about them, leave them overnight. So in the meringue stack, I'm going to stack it with 3 different flavoured creams. And the first one's going to be a praline cream made with hazelnuts. So I need to get on with the sugar work, which is to make the praline. So I've got a saucepan here and caster sugar, and I'm just going to scatter it as evenly as I can over the bottom of the frying pan. And then I'm just going to turn the heat on. And you want to, on a medium heat, allow it to start melting. And it'll start melting from around the outside inwards. And the important thing is not to stir it. Wooden spoons have fat and grease and they'll cause it to crystallise. So you don't want to ever stir caramel. You want to swirl it. And then once that's made, I'm going to put hazelnuts. So whilst the sugar is on, you need to keep an eye on it. But I've got some whipped double cream here. Now it's quite a lot because there's quite a lot to stack. And what you want to do is to divide it into a large bowl, a medium bowl and a small bowl, just exactly how you did with the meringue mix. Now it's really up to you which flavour you decide to do the creams. And if you want and you're not into doing something slightly alternative like we are, you can easily just flavour this with a little bit of vanilla and icing sugar, and then you can just use strawberries and berries and all that sort of thing. But for this one, we're going to do the praline cream, an orange cream and a chocolate cream. So it's sort of like nutty and crunchy with the orange chocolate as well. So I think I'll do orange on the bottom. So I've got, in the large bowl of cream, the zest of an orange or 2, and then I've got some orange liqueur. And then you just want to fold this in. And then the next one is chocolate. So I've got, again, a medium bowl of cream, and then I've melted some chocolate. You don't want this too hot. If your chocolate's too hot, it's going to melt your cream. And then you just fold that in as well. You don't need to mix it all the way through. Marbled is absolutely fine, and that's a chocolate cream. So the sugar's all melted now. It's this beautiful caramel, and I'm going to add the hazelnuts, and then quickly just turn them over in the caramel before it sets, and then tip it out onto a non-stick baking tray. Don't use baking paper. Spread it out a little bit, it's fine. So you basically need to leave this to cool, and you want it to be completely cool, because this sugar for the next 10 minutes is going to be skyrocketingly hot. So just whatever you do, don't touch it. And once it's set and has gone really hard and crispy, take it off the tray, keep some of it aside for later and decorating. The rest of it we're going to smash up and we're going to put through the cream at the end. So I've got my 3 meringues cooked, my large, medium and small, and obviously the large one goes on the bottom. Just add a dot of the cream and then very carefully peel off the baking parchment and then pop that on. So I'm just going to put the cream around the outside, little bits to start, and then just with the spoon, just push it to the edge. You don't want to go all the way, but you want to be able to see it when the next tier goes on. And then the next meringue tier, that then can sit on top. And now it's time for the chocolate cream. And then the final one, I've just domed the top of the meringue rather than creating too much of a dip and a dent, just to finish it off. And then that one goes on top, and then the praline cream can go on top. Now the thing is, this is going to look nice whole, and like with all meringues, as soon as you cut it, it's going to fall apart. So I suggest if you're going to cut it, if you take the layers off, it's a bit easier. You can obviously do your big moment in front of your friends and family, but when it's time to cut it up for pudding, I would take the layers off or make it into a massive eaten mess. And then use all these shards to stick on the top. Thanks for watching this Bridal Bites series. Why not give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. I hope you have a great wedding, and I hope to see you again soon.